Honestly, when the initial murmurs of a data breach at the London clinic began circulating, the immediate assumption was a standard cyber intrusion by an external party. So here's where it gets interesting. The forensic digital investigation did not point outward toward foreign hackers or opportunistic journalists. Instead, the digital footprint pointed inward, directly toward the private communications network of Queen Camilla's closest staff. Today, I am going to walk you through exactly what happened, how the confrontation unfolded behind closed doors, and the permanent shift in the royal family dynamic. To understand the gravity of this situation, we must first look at the timeline. Following the Princess of Wales's planned abdominal surgery, her medical files were placed under the highest tier of encryption available to the royal household. Only a select group of 3 senior medical professionals and 2 palace security directors had clearance. Yet, specific, highly classified details regarding her recovery timeline and treatment protocols began appearing on certain high-level media executives. William and Kate immediately authorized the private internal audit, bypassing the standard palace communications team. They brought in independent cybersecurity experts. The trace revealed that a senior aide who reports exclusively to Queen Camilla had accessed the digital logs. This was not an accident. The files were downloaded, copied, and physically removed from the secure network. The moment William was presented with his evidence, the atmosphere at Adelaide Cottage shifted from concern to absolute resolve. There was no shouting, no dramatic outbursts. It was a cold, calculated realization that the threat was coming from within the institution. William immediately contacted King Charles's private secretary and requested an urgent closed-door meeting at Windsor Castle. He specified that Camilla must be present. Let me take you inside that room and explain exactly what the scene was like. The meeting took place in the king's private study at Windsor, a room specifically swept for recording devices. King Charles was seated behind his desk, looking visibly fatigued and deeply troubled by the preliminary briefing he had received. Camilla sat to his right, maintaining a posture of strict formality. When William and Kate entered, they did not observe the standard protocol of familial warmth. They did not sit down immediately. William stood slightly ahead of Kate, a clear physical barrier, but it was Kate who took the lead. She placed a thick, leather-bound dossier on the center of the king's desk. The room was absolutely silent. You could hear the old clock ticking on the mantel. Kate maintained complete professional composure. She addressed the king directly, presenting the digital forensics report. She explained that her fundamental right to medical privacy had been violated not by the press, but by the Queen's own office. Camilla attempted to interject, stating that she had no personal knowledge of her aide's actions and that staff sometimes overstep boundaries trying to gather information for scheduling purposes. Kate did not raise her voice. She looked directly at Camilla and stated that ignorance of one's staff is not an acceptable defense when dealing with the future queen's medical records. Kate articulated that the trust was fundamentally broken. She laid out a clear, non-negotiable ultimatum. She stated that she and William could no longer reside in proximity to a security threat. Kate requested formally and firmly that Camilla remove herself and her immediate staff from Windsor estate footprint until a full independent inquiry was completed and the offending staff members were permanently dismissed. It was an order disguised as a constitutional request, delivered with such precision that there was no room for debate. King Charles's reaction was of profound devastation. He is a monarch who despises confrontation, constantly trying to bridge the gap between his wife and his heir, but presented with irrefutable evidence of a data theft, he had no choice. He looked at the documents, looked at William's unyielding expression, and nodded. Charles agreed that Camilla's staff would immediately relocate to Clarence House in London and that Camilla would accompany them to de-escalate the situation. William did not say a word during this exchange. His silence was entirely supportive of his wife's authority. He simply placed his hand on Kate's back as Charles gave his assent. The king signed the immediate transfer orders for the staff right there on the desk. Camilla left the room shortly after, her expression unreadable, but clearly understanding the shift in power. This is a defining moment for the Princess of Wales. She handled a severe personal violation with a strategic mind of a sovereign. The power dynamic has officially shifted toward the Waleses, and they have proven they will protect their family with absolute ruthlessness if necessary. Thank you for watching, and please remember to subscribe to the channel for more accurate, detailed breakdowns of the events shaping the monarchy today.